when you read things for long periods of time, it hurts. It hurts. If it's too long, it hurts.
Yeah.
And so sometimes a good long is like, feels right. You know, it feels
perfect
right.
type of long.
Perfect type of long. I'm talking about that universal kind of long. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Volume 1, the anime and manga podcast where we highlight and discuss new series each week. And today, we're back with another classic Volume 1, which means that my name is Josh Testicles Michaels. And today, I am joined by...
Megan, the rent is due Perrine.
Do you know why I said testicles?
No.
You don't?
Why?
Well, let me tell you. Today, we are going to be discussing Volume 1 of Gintama, which is... in Japanese is a pun on the Japanese word for testicles.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why?
I thought that was a fun fact.
Why?
Because it's a comedy, dude. It's funny. Just go around.
Okay, you're
My
acting.
bar for comedy is low. Is that what you're going to say?
No, you're acting a little nuts right now.
Okay. Anyway, thank you for tuning in to another episode. Today, like I said, we're going to be talking about Gintama. We did a stream not too long ago where we talked about our favorite comedy manga series. And of course, in that chat that we do every Thursday, 9 p.m. PST over on Kumu, a lot of people are like, Gintama. And this is a series that when you talk about comedy in anime and manga, this is an OG. This is again, one of the classics, highly regarded, and a very also long series.
Yeah. I think, I mean, I don't know how many years it's been going on, but I mean,
I have it here, Megan.
Oh, you have it. You have it available.
Yeah, dude, I came prepared. So the manga was first published in 2003, and the anime first came out in 2006. But the manga recently ended with 77 volumes in 2019.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a long time.
That is a very long time.
Yeah. So I was kind of,
especially for a comedy, like straight. I mean,
I thought you were gonna say for a person, and then you kind of looked at me, which is weird because I'm a young soul. Go ahead.
Well, this is younger than you.
Okay. You almost got me.
No, it's just like it's interesting because like with comedy and stuff, you would think that some jokes would maybe be reused or recycled. And I do like that this manga, I was kind of expecting from what I've seen of like clips of the anime, it is just, I thought it would be just like a Nichijou type show or manga, which is just like little slivers into their life. And it's, you know, these three characters that are just having fun and being silly. But I was like pleasantly surprised that the direction that the first volume went in, because it had like a through line and it did explain things about the world that I had no idea about. I was like, there's aliens in this? Like, I had no clue. But yeah, it was just like pleasantly
You were pleasantly
surprising.
Surprised. For me, yeah, I mean, I had cousins going way back who were super into Gintama. I don't know why it took me so long to get around to reading it. And even though I've had people telling me all my life that I should be reading or watching this series, I didn't know. I knew little to nothing about it. So I was also very pleasantly surprised. Obviously, this is a Volume 1 review. It's what we do here. If you don't know, if you're new and you just clicked because you saw Gintama in the thumbnail. But there's a lot to talk about, and I think there's a lot that this series like eventually does and gets to that I don't feel like we necessarily got to see a lot in the first volume. The first volume was great. It was a lot of fun. But I think in terms of like what the show does later on and clips and in preparation for this episode and in doing some research, like what the anime does, I think are some things that do make this series one of the greats, one of the most highly regarded comedy series in anime and manga. But I'm just saying that to say that I don't think we get to see all of it on full display in the first volume. I had no idea what to expect, and going into it, and I honestly, I was honestly like pleasantly surprised, sure, but also just surprised.
Yeah.
Living up to all the hype as well, like this comedy or this series being told by so many people that people told to me that it was going to be the funniest thing I had ever read. Or when I mentioned comedy manga, everybody's like, Gintama, Gintama, Gintama. I mean, they had a lot to live up to. And I want to say too that like I really, really enjoyed this series a lot just based on the first volume, but I didn't laugh as much as I thought I was going to, and that's not a bad thing. I actually liked that a lot.
Yeah, it wasn't like purposely wedged in. There wasn't a joke every 5 seconds just to be like, we're a comedy manga, like this is what we do. Like it was very like well spread throughout the first volume, and I'm sure like obviously the hijinks continue on, and like the closer you get to the characters, the more you kind of like know their vibes and stuff.
Yeah.
But again, the first volume did a really good job at that. Like I felt like I know who the characters were and like, you know, what they were doing. And again, I was really surprised at the whole alien aspect. I was not expecting that at all. And it just like piqued my interest more, I think, reading. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, I didn't expect it to have as much of a through line as it kind of ended up having.
That's why I was like kind of surprised, because I thought it would be like a type of like
like not to take away from Gintama, but like in the way of the house husband, you know, there are jokes every chapter. And it's kind of like every chapter is kind of built around telling this one joke. You know, we also read a series not too long on this channel called Saint Young Men. That was a series that I was also a little afraid Gintama might be, in a sense, because that series is another highly regarded comedy, but a lot of the comedy doesn't really translate well outside of Japanese, or there's just so much more context you need if you're not from Japan to really get these jokes, or, you know, if you're not well versed in like religion for that specific series as well.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'll say for me, Gintama didn't have that at all, which is a big concern and a big worry when it comes to comedy in anime and manga, because a lot of the jokes that are like pun-based jokes, especially jokes that involve like language, we've, you know, being fans of subs and dubs, we've seen them have to kind of rework some things so it makes sense in English. But I didn't really feel that. Like I didn't really feel like there was you know, any barrier or like any like context that I needed that I either wasn't provided or that, you know, would have necessarily elevated anything. I was, you know, I felt like I understood everything, and I didn't feel bogged down by like needing more information to find things funny. It was a really good read. But if you are like us and you had no idea or have no idea what this series is about, I'm sure you've heard the name, but maybe you don't know what the plot itself is about. So Volume 1-chan, our beautiful AI, is going to help us out, and she's going to read the synopsis out loud for us all now. So if you can, Volume 1-chan, without further ado, can you hit us with the synopsis for Gintama, please?
Set in Edo, which has been conquered by aliens named Amanto, the plot follows life from the point of view of samurai Gintoki Sakata, who works as a freelancer alongside his friends Shinpachi Shimura and Kagura to pay the monthly rent.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, pretty straightforward.
Yeah, and again, I am not the biggest fan of reading synopsis before I read the manga. It depends. Like if I'm at like Barnes or I have a physical copy, then I'll be like, oh, let me just look for a little bit. But this was like a prime example of why I don't like doing that, because it just like I would be surprised when I read it, sure, but it was even more surprising when I started reading, and it was explained to me in the first volume.
Yeah, I can't say that you know, knowing or not knowing would have made me, you know, want to read it more, but yeah, I had no idea what this was about at all. And there's a couple things I really wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about like, you know, I wanted to kind of mention and just acknowledge sort of the other things that I know this series does that, again, we didn't get to see on full display. I want to reiterate again that although I didn't laugh out loud as much as I thought I was going to, that I kind of preferred it that way. I kind of ended up enjoying it more because of that. But I do know that this series does go on. This series is a series that's known for parody. This series is a series that's known for satire. And I think from what I've seen, this is a series that also pokes a lot of fun at the anime and manga industry. There are clips that I've seen where they are literally they'll make jokes in the anime about the animators being lazy, and that's why the animation isn't crazy or isn't particularly good this episode. There are even jokes I've seen in clips made where they'll say that the animators are so lazy that that it's just the like rough sketches on the white background, like the previs of the scene.
I mean, we even see that in the first volume too. There's like little jabs here and there, like obviously like Shonen Jump is like canon in this world, and then also I'll fend them off, don't worry. And then the next page, he's like, okay, I'm back, and then like, why are you back? And he's like, a full page is a lot for a mangaka. Like, what do you expect? And I like that, especially when it's done like again spread out and not like overly done where it's not funny anymore, because that's just how jokes work. If it's just continuously done, it pushed in your face, you're not gonna laugh. But I noticed that too. I mean, this is a series that constantly, within even the first volume, breaks the fourth wall constantly. But I think what makes this series good and what made it an enjoyable read is looking back. I mean, first being published in 2003 and holding up in 2021, comedy is not. Comedy doesn't usually do that. It doesn't age well. And I mean, I was kind of again surprised. I mean, this is like a lot of surprises. But I mean, even like the fighting, I was not expecting that much fighting and it to be like actually badass, like at all. I mean, I thought this was like satire shtick, like slapstick type of just like pure comedy, but there was like some action, there was like some plot, there was like some emotional moments. I was like, okay, Gintama, like this is what we're doing. Like I was very, very happy, and
that's what I love about these series. I hate to use Rick and Morty as an example. I really do. I hate it. Because again, that show, I feel like that show was kind of ruined for me. By I think what I associated by the fandom I associated it with. But in terms of like, and there are many other examples, but it was just the first one that came to mind. In terms of a series that is just 90% comedy, every now and then you'll get like a really emotional moment with Rick trying to unalive himself in the garage or something, in that sad music, or it's 90% comedy, but every now and then there is a through line. It's just not the most important thing. And the drama or these dramatic moments are done, but also done well. There are so many other series that I don't think I balance that very well. When they do try to dip into dramatic, maybe scenes or situations, it just doesn't land or hit the same. And I think, again, this stands the test of time because, there are so many series. I think just good comedy stands the test of time at the end of the day. Like there are so many series I can't imagine people looking back on, 100 years from now. But at least in the West, as much as I don't come at me, never watched The Simpsons or never felt really connected to that series in particular. But like South Park, I mean, these are like highly regarded animated series. South Park satirizes a lot of things, and it's good. I mean, I enjoy it, and I think these shows are going to live on. But something like a I don't know, not to ruffle any feathers, but like an American Dad, I mean, I don't think is going to be in the annals of history.
I like American Dad.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, even Family Guy's not that bad. I think people just like...
It's like hit or miss. Like some seasons are really good at Family Guy, and then it just misses.
I mean, but that's I think when you got so many jokes per minute, you're going to run that risk. And then, there's the topical side of it. Gintama, I think, is just like, it's kind of timeless comedy. I feel like it doesn't like, at least in this, like what it feels like from what we read, it doesn't ever really try to do anything that's like too current or like make fun of things that are like, it's not making fun of a society or a world that's wildly different from the one that we live in now, Yeah,
because we have like aliens who live amongst us too.
We do. We absolutely do.
Who look like people. Like I'm talking about like the reptilian.
Oh, the reptilian people. Yeah, they're 100% real. They're 100% real. I saw one the other day. Yeah. I saw one the other day at the gas station.
Really? How do I know you're not?
Because why would I self-report? I
don't know if I've seen you like blink.
I don't, I sometimes, I don't need to always blink because I'm like, evolved. But yeah, I had a really good time reading this, and constantly had to kind of get out of the mindset of like, okay, I'm reading Gintama. I gotta process everything. I gotta make sure that I'm like doing this series justice, because again of how highly regarded it is and how like big of expectations I have.
And I wonder how many. I mean, because I know that with both, like especially with longer series, whether it be like a manga or an anime, like I wonder, like let us know, like which do you prefer? Because again, like an anime can, not add weight, but definitely can enhance like timing. Can enhance like voices, voice actors, sounds, effects, settings. Like these can all be like affected. I'm not saying that one would be better than the other, because I think that both are probably pretty good because it's coming from the same thing. But like comment if you prefer the anime or the manga, because I'm kind of like curious, because I feel like I can just like watch this on the background of something and just like have a good time.
And that's the thing too. We read this. We didn't watch any of the anime, but the anime is supposed, apparently just as great, and has, I think there's 2 movies, and I think one of them is canon, or the other one takes place outside of canon. I don't know exactly, but I'd love to continue watching this.
And I love the art too.
Yeah, the art's great.
Yeah,
the art's really, really good. I love it, and I love the character designs, the characters. Before we get into the plot specific details and go through this first volume a little more beat by beat, we have to get to our highlighted comment of the day, which today comes to us from a good friend of ours, a beautiful member of our community, Monkey D. Luffy. Shout out Monkey D. Luffy.
Verified oneer.
Yeah, verified oneer, who we did talk to on a live not too long ago.
Yeah.
Great guy, beautiful voice.
Nice.
Monkey D. Luffy says, so it's now canon that Josh has a cat fruit. Pastor Lucci also has a cat fruit. Now that I think about it, they both look kind of similar. That's a thinking emoji, cat emoji. And then they also say, put the new art on a shirt and I'm going to grab one ASAP. He's, of course, referring to our new done piece art.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Which you'll have seen the sketches in the video that we put out last Thursday, the Straw Hat ranking video and the One Piece arc ranking video. But you'll get to see the full colored versions of those designs this coming up Thursday in our villain ranking and island ranking, devil fruit ranking video. I'll put them on a shirt. If enough people want them on a shirt, I'll put them on a shirt. But we also have a lot of other cool shirts available in our merch store that should now be linked to our videos that you should be able to see whether you're watching this on your phone or on your desktop.
Right above the comment section.
Right above the comment section.
Right above.
And we got Volume 1 Jolly Rogers. We got Dunkai logo art shirts. We got Volume 1 logo shirts. We got a lot of cool stuff on there.
Stickers, mugs. And yeah, we were excited because we finally get to link our shop.
Yeah, that was a big moment.
Yeah, it really was. Really big step. But if you buy anything, please, it would be so nice of you to send us a picture with whatever merch you bought. Yeah. And we will post it to whatever socials we have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's so fun.
Yeah, it's really cool. And that would be awesome. We had someone do that in our Discord recently, and it just put
they
a
look
smile
great.
on my face. Yeah, look cool. Okay, are you ready to go through this a little more? I think there's about 6 chapters in the first volume.
Mm-hmm.
Not too, it's pretty standard. Not too much. But these chapters did feel pretty long, not in a bad way. There's a bad long, and there's a good long. Yeah. And this felt like a good long.
Okay.
What? Okay. I just sounded like an innuendo. There is a bad long. When you read things for long periods of time, it hurts. It hurts. If it's too long, it hurts.
Yeah.
And so sometimes a good long is like, feels right. It feels
perfect
right.
type of long.
Perfect type of long. Mm-hmm. It's a perfect type of long.
Yeah.
Which might vary from person to person. Mm-hmm. But I think it's I think it's pretty across the board.
Universal.
I think it's universal.
Universal long.
Yeah, I'm talking about that universal kind of long.
Yeah.
You know, I'm yeah. I was thinking I was gonna try to make, I don't know why my mind went here. I was gonna try to make an American Dragon Jake Long joke right now.
We're linked today.
Yeah.
I was like, how could I? But I shouldn't.
It makes no sense.
You let your intrusive thoughts.
Yeah.
And you said it out loud. You let them win.
Just just trying to let people in the old noggin.
Just another day in the studio.
Just another day in the studio. Okay, so it opens up, and yeah, I was so surprised by all of this, but it opens up with our protagonist, our hero, who's this whole time, I don't know why I just assumed his name was Gintama this whole time.
Same.
But his name is Gintoki.
Gintoki.
Yes. Gin, I was gonna make another joke.
Gintoki?
Yeah, Gintoki.
Gintoki makes my heart go doki doki.
There you go. Better, a lot better than what I was going to say.
I was going to make like a
universal toki joke.
Universal long. Yeah.
American Dragon Universal Long.
But I do like him.
Yeah.
He's cool.
I'm the Universal Long Dragon. Anyway, love him, dude. Cool ass character and cool ass character introduction. A character who's also aware he's in a manga.
He goes, I'm sorry, I just wanted my first introduction to be flashy.
Yeah, he's like, it's my first intro. Dude. I might have overreacted a little bit, but I mean, this is the first time people see me. I got to do something, memorable.
So funny.
Yeah,
and I did want to point out too, like we do get little slivers at the end of the chapters, and it is actually the mangaka who draws himself as a gorilla for the manga and then also in the anime. And it's so funny because I looked up this guy. I was like, what does this guy look like?
Yeah.
And it was like a picture of him versus like what he draws himself as. This man's handsome. Like,
yeah, dude,
handsome.
It is funny because
like how he sees himself versus how everyone else sees himself.
I mean, I'm sure maybe he thinks he's just a hairy guy. I don't know, but I love that about mangaka, how they always have these like alter egos, or maybe not even alter egos, but they're self-portraits or caricatures of themselves that they include in the in manga. Like, since I'm wearing a Zatch Bell shirt right now, Makoto Raikou always draws himself with like this very funny face and like a bandana. He always has a bandana on. But I've seen like one picture of him in a bandana. I don't know. It's so funny how they, if we were to draw caricatures of ourselves, like how we would view ourselves versus how other people would or do view us. But yeah, I looked him up too, and I was like, this man looks nothing like a gorilla.
Yeah.
I've been lied to.
I did like that. Those were funny.
He's a handsome guy. He's a handsome guy. But also this world that it opens on is a world that has recently been invaded by aliens.
Yeah.
And that aliens have basically banned swords. And
okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So guns are still free game?
Who knows?
Just all weapons in general or just swords?
Well, they say that, they kind of imply that the samurai were just a problem for them. And so they, banned the Bushido or that whatever or group of people banned. Or they got like one group got kind of scared and kind of made a deal with them and said like, okay, we'll ban swords. But it was like kind of like a direct attack against samurai. For sure, to discourage them from continuing to be samurai or for anybody else to become a samurai. So it also opens on this other character who becomes a very important character, Shinpachi. And Shinpachi is a kid who's working. Looks like he's working at a fast food joint or the equivalent.
Like a restaurant or something like that.
Yeah, and he we learned that he is someone whose father had a dojo. And trained samurai. He considers himself a bit of a samurai. His sister as well. But since this happened and his father died, he's trying to work to save his father's dojo. And his father told him, one of those classic lines like, even if a samurai's real sword is in his heart, so don't lose that sword,
Ever.
I really like how this whole first chapter was handled. It was handled so fucking cool because it was funny and it was, there were hijinks, but it also was just about like figuring out what is important to you.
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you want to protect.
Yeah, exactly. And like it was a good point. Like they're trying to, just because they were told to, continue on this legacy. It's like, was that what you want? Like, is that what if it makes you like feel bad, like you're gonna still do it just because, like,
yeah. And is that gonna end up affecting other relationships? It was like weighing on the relationship that he had with his sister. And so by upholding and maybe by, honoring your father's will, which he also wasn't a perfect person, and was like taking money from loan sharks and stuff. Are you to uphold that? Are you sacrificing, your own life or your own relationships with other family members? And it was like him, Shinpachi, throughout the whole first chapter, kind of figuring that out for himself and figuring out like, yeah, I can honor my father by finding out what my sword is or following somebody. I can honor him in this other way and not have to like, do all this stuff to keep this dojo and have my sister become a cam girl, basically.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. But we see some aliens there who are don't take very kindly to him because he was an ex-samurai, and this is where they bully him. They kind of stick their foot out and he falls on the floor, which is 100% accurate. I've worked at a lot of restaurants and I've been tripped by guests.
Really?
No.
Oh my god.
But
that's like my worst fear.
Being tripped by a guest?
Yeah.
No, that's never happened to me. But
have you seen it happen?
No, I've never seen a guest trip. But I mean, it doesn't feel like that. It just feel like emotionally the guests trip you, and I think that's maybe why I got it mixed up.
Yeah, they trip you up
Emotionally. Yeah, the guest got me tripping. And so Gintama shows up, or not Gintama. See, this is gonna happen. Gintoki shows up. Gin shows up. And he basically, has a wooden sword, even though swords have been outlawed, and helps this kid to kind of defends this kid's honor in a funny way because he needs sugar and he hasn't. During all their commotion, he wasn't able to eat his sundae. But he comes on on page in a big way, and again, it's even funnier when it's revealed that he says like, "It was my first appearance. I had to do something crazy." But he pretty much like frames this guy.
Yeah.
For I think they say murder in the manga, but either way, for at least like hurting these people.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Okay, well, you're a samurai. These people just got hit by a sword by like you did it. You did it." He's like, God damn it. And he's like running after him in his little scooter.
Well, that's what I think would like, maybe it was so funny in the manga, but I think it would have been a lot funnier in the anime when he's saying like, it was not me. It wasn't me. The guy who did it, like he just ran away. He ran away. He just came in here. I don't know him. He, started a ruckus, and then the camera slowly zooms out, and then he has like a bloody stick, like again, planted that on him. And I think that would have been, it was funny in the manga, but I think it would have been funnier in the anime. And so, yeah, he goes and runs after him and basically, ends up back at his dojo and meets his sister. And they find, that's where they find out about the loan sharks. And the loan shark's like, I got a, way for you to pay off your debt.
Dude, this guy straight up looked like Victor Perkins from Despicable Me.
Victor Perkins, what a crazy pull. What a crazy reference.
Do you know who I'm talking about? The guy with the bowl cut and the glasses and the tracksuit.
Victor Perkins.
A Despicable Me. I forget which one. I think is it one? Or I think it might be two. He has a bowl cut. He has glasses. He has a chain. He has a tracksuit. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. You're just obviously not cultured in Despicable Me lore.
Yeah. If I've seen any Despicable Me movies, which I'm not even sure I have.
You have. Stop trying to be cool.
I'm not
I haven't seen any Despicable Me movies. Like, okay.
I'm not trying to be cool, dude. I used to rock out to the Jonas Brothers and knew 3 of the High School Musical High School Musical movie songs by heart. I'm not trying to be cool. I just like don't think I've ever seen Despicable Me, and if I have, I've only seen the first one, and I don't really remember it.
That's a shame. Anyway, if you know Victor Perkins, you know him. And
Victor Perkins, maybe if I remember, I'll put up a picture, or there will have already been up a picture of Victor Perkins.
Probably not.
Probably not.
I'll show you after, but I was so shocked at this guy.
Yeah.
Because he looked exactly like him.
Was Victor Perkins despicable?
Yeah, you could say that, yeah.
Because this guy's pretty despicable.
Yeah.
this guy is basically your typical sleazy loan shark guy who says, okay, well, if you're not going to pay me the money and you're not going to give me the dojo, which I don't even want anymore, then you can pay off your debt. Tells the sister you can pay off your debt by just coming up to my Sky bar and just, not even topless, just bottomless serve people hot pot, I think is what it was.
It's like a pantyless or underwearless shabu shabu.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's so funny because like she's about to do it.
No, she does do it.
Okay, she does do it, but like she's wearing like a long dress.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, like that's kind of a win,
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe the dress has got to go too. Maybe it's step one,
That would make more sense.
But it was, it was kind of crazy to see her in her
like,
dedication.
Underwearless shabu shabu, but you wear jeans.
That'd be a win for sure.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I just like knowing. I just like knowing.
That's maybe grosser.
It is grosser, but also you could you could do it.
Yeah.
I'd be more comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
Then if someone was like, yeah, you got to walk around with no pants, no underwear.
Donald Duck-it.
You got a Donald Duck-it, or you just walk around with pants, and I know you don't got no underwear.
Yeah.
I'd rather do that. And I'd be honest about it too. I really wouldn't wear underwear. I really wouldn't. And I don't believe in that. I think people who free ball are freaking psychopaths.
Is that what they call it? Free ball? Commando.
Yeah. Oh yeah, free balling, commando. I don't know commando, but free balling makes more sense.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think? When I think of commando, I think of the army. You just thinking about
Maybe
everybody fighting in the wars,
maybe
or
it's
just
tied. Maybe they didn't just have time to put on like underwear when they were fighting. Maybe they just had to like go commando. Like, oh yeah, I did not have time. Like I had to fight this war. Like I had to fight this war. Like I don't have time for underwear right now.
I don't know, dude, but whenever I go commando or, it's like I'm fighting a war, there's a war going on between my legs. And it's
commando,
hot.
No.
Yeah, it's hot. It's a fire. I chafe.
That's a war.
Yeah, it's a war.
You're at war.
But yeah, he takes her up there and she agrees. And I was pretty shocked by that. She's like, no, I want to do this for our father. And she agrees, and then that's where Shinpachi has this like moment with Gin, and they figure out, or he figures out, like, I'm gonna protect what I want to protect. Like that is, I think, what my father said by, something to the effect of like the sword within your heart, or your soul sword, or your heart sword, or whatever. And so that's where Gin kind of reveals that he is a freelancer basically, and he just helps people do random jobs. And now he has sort of been tasked with helping him get his sister back. And they do, and it's it's epic, it's cool, it's awesome. They there was a funny joke here where he's being told to like wear a helmet, and he's like, I'm fine, I my head's pretty hard, and he's like, no, but it's against the law. And he just headbutts him, and he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I told you, my head's pretty hard.
Get off the bike now.
Yeah, I mean, that was a funny moment. And then they crash the cop car through this like sky. It's like a boat, or it's something floating in the sky. It's like a boat floating in the sky.
Yeah, it's like a big, because they're like, oh, obviously, like I guess like erotic, like payment places, shabu facilities are like illegal down there, but like we're in the sky, like free real estate. Yeah. Which this sounds unsanitary to me. It sounds unsanitary to me. I would like all people, because if they're not wearing, if they're not wearing underwear on the floor, like in the dining area, I don't know how do I know they're not wearing underwear in the back, and like where they're making the food, and it's just like, why would that matter? It's not like they're like.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like I've. Sometimes, maybe things start riding up, which I guess they wouldn't if you're not wearing underwear, but you might have an itch that you need to scratch or something. Okay. And I mean, I don't know. It just sounds unsanitary, and I'm not trying to get, that kind of flavor.
Well, you don't have to go. You don't have to go to the underwearless shabu shabu.
Okay. Fine, I won't go. You know what? Just to spite you, I'm gonna go.
Okay, get sick then. Get sick, bitch.
Reverse psychology.
Oh.
But yeah, and basically, they rescue her, and the whole point of this chapter is just that Now that she's been rescued, the sister tells him, go follow him, go be a part of his this freelance group, this odd job group.
Well, it makes sense because, like you said, it's kind of hard for like samurai to find work just because everyone fucking hates them. So this was like cool. It was very complete, the first chapter.
Yeah, the first chapter was awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And again, like not what I expected at all. But it gave this other character a lot of motivation, and again, when it wanted to hit on like a more serious note, like it did, and it did the comedy well, and it was really good. And then now you kind of get your first member of what will later be a 3-person group, and then maybe there's more, but yeah, his introduction was solid, and this character Shinpachi. You start to realize very early on that it's this character's job to be the straight man to Gin and to the absurdity of everything else.
Yeah, to like question.
Yeah.
I mean, question. I think there was like a line. I forget what he said. Is it something is, like a mother who can't cook fried rice.
Yeah.
And he's like, is that all mothers are good for? Just like little things like that. Yeah. I mean, glasses.
Yeah. And this series,
they set him up.
You say, glasses and all that. I don't know what it was. I mean, obviously, it might be fair to say that it is inspired by certain things, but I don't know why. For some reason, like I got a Dandadan vibe. I don't know, like not like explicitly or blatantly, but it was like a subtle, kind of Dandadan vibe.
Interesting.
Maybe it was a character with glasses. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe
with aliens. I don't know.
Yeah, he kind of looks like the guy from the guy from Toradora.
Ryuji?
No, not Ryuji, his friend.
Oh yeah. Great first chapter, solid first chapter. This is what we're talking about when we talk about volume 1. It's not just a good volume 1, but a good first chapter. This was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I really, really liked this a lot. And then over the course of the next couple chapters, we start getting a lot more backstory. We first see, we get a sense over the course of the next chapter, more of Gin and sort of his relationship with his landlord, and that's a funny relationship. And then even to see how she might not at least seem to an outsider that she likes him or cares for him at all because he never pays his rent and he's always trying to get out of paying his rent, but that he does protect her, and he protects her. He might text her too. Who knows?
Yeah, he protects her and then also like pays her in different ways too.
Okay, tell me more.
Oh, no, I didn't mean that.
Oh, go off.
He pays her back. Like he'll fix things. Obviously, she's like, well, that was broken, but he helps out here and there when he can.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And then we also get to see like not only his relationship with her, but we get to see sort of the state of this like world that they live in. And I hope they go eventually to other planets. Like that'd be so sick. It sounds like they do, or seems like they do. I mean, maybe they don't, but even if they don't and other people from other planets come, that'd be pretty sick too.
Well, yeah, that's how like aliens work.
Well, you don't know that. I mean, you don't know if it's only humans and one of those species are allowed. Maybe that's their planet. Maybe they claimed it.
Will they come?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe other ones come. Anyway.
What?
For everybody watching and listening, I sincerely apologize on behalf of Megan.
Huh?
Nothing. Anyway, so I hope they go to other planets. I hope that they explore more, places. And if not, then I hope more aliens from other planets, different aliens, and the ones we've already seen come to this planet.
I just feel so alienated by you right
and
now.
was that all the whole reason you were playing up this charade the whole time?
No.
Because if you were,
I
then
just
that was
had
great.
it up my sleeve.
Okay. If you were, that was great. I'm just saying.
Thank you.
But we get to see that this world, how it works, and that these aliens who come here are kind of like we're reading One Piece. I love them. I'm in love. I'm lit. I'm high. I'm fucking blackout.
I'm lit. I'm high. I'm blackout. That was insane.
But these are kind of like the celestial dragons in a way. You know what I mean? These are like rich, royal, idiots who just kind of either their ancestors or they have told or been told that they are princes and I guess, any kind of royalty could kind of be like that. But, these people, or the one that we meet, is particularly just like a
She's
real
a
brat and a real
Yeah.
just fucking idiot, But we're told that these people, these aliens, are to be treated like royalty. And we also get this like very delicate balance of the world.
Yeah, the world and like the government.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And how the government has to kind of play along. And even the more I'm like thinking about it, I really like this chapter too, about this like guy's pet that was a
Mhm.
monster, because the one of the government officials who hires Geen to basically deal with him.
Which was so funny too. They're like,
Yeah.
"Are you Geen? Like, come with us right now." And they're just telling about this like important job about this alien and the prince and the government and blah 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 yada yada yada. And they just show up and it's like this like just like the nastiest looking, brattiest looking alien. He's like, "I'm looking for my
Yeah.
pet," and they just like start walking away. It was so hilarious.
Yeah. That was funny. But we get to see that like, he hires Geen because he wants, like, he knows that Geen is ultimately gonna have to kill this pet, because it's not a pet, it's a monster. It's huge. It's crazy.
It's rampaging the
And-
city.
It's rampaging the city. And there was another funny moment too, where he's like, "Yeah, this is my cute pet that I found on another planet," and then it attacks him. And then they're like, "He doesn't even like you."
Yeah, he's like,
he
"He
doesn't
was
even-
nice to me, so I decided to bring him back." It's like, he doesn't even like you.
He doesn't even want to be your pet.
Yeah.
But the politics that are at play here, because the guy's
Mhm.
like, "I know that you're gonna have to take him out. Like, I know that, but we have to at least like we have to play this like strategically. We have to pretend like we're honestly trying to not kill this this alien princess pet. But to do that, one or two people might have to get eaten, and then once those one or two people get eaten, then we can kill it and use
Kentucky.
that as a
Yeah,
as a
Kentucky's
reason."
like, nah,
He's like, "Hell no."
no.
And then the government, and you could tell this government official is like, you could tell he's like kind of torn. He doesn't really like the aliens like being there, or at least being there in the way that they are, and having taken over everything, and whatever.
They have to like kind of like bow to them because
Yeah.
they are higher or like are able to do different things.
Yeah.
Like he's just kind of like it's like his job.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Damn, I just have to like suck it up and just smile and deal with this like brat." But one's like Kentucky's like, "I'm gonna live for me, like I'm gonna live my truth, like I'm gonna kill this thing, like no one's dying, like no way, not on my watch." Like slices this thing up because he grabs Glasses. What's his name?
Oh yeah, he grabs a Shinpachi.
And then he just like,
And what was sick about that is the government agent even like punches the shit out of the alien.
yeah,
after,
he
too.
switches. He switches up like real quick.
Well, because he's like, "Yeah, dude, if
You're right.
You're right. If Geen is gonna do this, then
Mhm.
I'm gonna do it too."
It's like, so
fuck this fool.
we have to sacrifice like human lives
yeah.
for your pet? Like, no. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Shut up.
And so that was a really cool chapter too. It seems like a fun chapter about an alien prince who's a spoiled brat that has a
Mhm.
monster as a pet, but it does show you the way that the politics of this world work.
I
And the
re-
balance of like
yeah,
keeping the aliens happy.
I really like the I guess it's like kind of like a slice of life type of like a system. I don't know, but I like how we kind of already established that he is like this freelance worker. So there will be like different odd jobs here
Mhm,
and there, and that's
mhm.
just like fun, keeps the story going, like exciting.
Yeah.
To see them in different places, like you said, different maybe like planets, different aliens. Like I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly. I love that this odd job gives them an excuse organically to have just all these crazy situations that
Yeah.
they're going to have to be in every
Yeah.
episode. I think the most like important chapter to note next, or the most important moment, was them meeting this third member, or someone who will become a third member of this odd job team, which is Kagura.
Mm-hmm.
And she is so cool.
She's so cool.
and
I'm
awesome.
like, she's not even human. Like, how dope.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, again, like if you would have told me what was happening with Gintama, I would have been like, what? Like,
Yeah.
for how long was this? Is this new? Like, it's just, at first glance, it's just completely different than what
Yeah.
you think, which is like really, really cool.
Yeah, she's not human. She is from an alien planet that looks human. Their species, their race they look humanoid, and they have very fair skin and are kind of irritated by sunlight, so they need to carry umbrellas with them all the time. And they're a lot stronger than humans. So when they were she just says she came from a poor family too, so she came to this planet to kind of get some work. She started working for this group of people, and then this group of people, because of her strength, pretty much started asking her to kill people.
Yeah.
And she did not like that and was like, I don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah, she's like, this is a scary, scary place. And in like return, like even Gintoki's like, you know what? You got yourself into this mess. You're going to get yourself out, and just like kind of like walks away and leaves the situation.
Yeah.
And I was like, but then you realize why he laughed, which is funny because you're like, damn, like he's trying to teach her a lesson right now in life. He's trying to really get through to this girl and say like, once you start something, you got to finish it on your own, and you gotta deal with it. And it's like,
no, he was he wanted to get the new Shonen Jump.
The new Shonen Jump. They even make like, aren't you old for Shonen Jump?
I love that too. Like that sort of, they're kind of like,
because the demographic is so huge. Like
they're kind of talking to the reader, because I would say Gintama is. I think it doesn't necessarily feel like it is. Like when you talk about shonen manga, I think you think, or maybe in Japan, you might even think more so that it is like for a very younger boy demographic. Yeah. But I think Gintama can be, but I think it is also for older people. Because I think when you're older, you get a lot more of these references, I feel.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is just like comic books, like.
Yeah,
comic books were like made for children, but I mean, how many children actually read comic books now? Like,
yeah, I feel like as far as Marvel and DC goes, it's just 40-year-old men.
Yeah,
who read them.
Yeah.
Could be wrong, but it's just it's my head canon.
Head canon.
But she comes from a warrior race. I think her clan, I have it down. Her tribe is the Yato, and they are known for battle. They have a sort of like almost like a bloodlust, kind of vampiric in a way, because they don't like the sun. They have a bloodlust. Like, however, she doesn't want to be that. She
fights it.
Yeah, and she again wants to live her own way. So sick, so cool, but also to have this character. And she is kind of the fish out of water character. So again, you have like this like fish out of water character. You have the straight man, and you have Gin, who's like the
unpredictable,
the wild card.
Yeah, he is the wild card. Yeah.
And their dynamic, once it like starts to really form by the end of the first volume, is something that I like would really like to see continue to grow. But yeah, she's badass. She's strong. She's that fish out of water, so that's where some of her comedy comes from. And I don't know, she is kind of like a I don't want to say she's kind of like a no bullshit character, because there's that moment with her, and I always forget the guy's name, Shinpachi, in the trash can.
Yeah. She's just saying things, and then she just starts like switching up. She's just like, I don't give a shit about you. And he was like, your character's changing. You're completely changing.
Your character is changing.
You're who are you?
Yeah, because she says something about like, you're really nice or something. She goes, yeah, that was really nice of you or something. And then she says, I mean, I still really don't like you.
Yeah, I don't like your glasses. I just don't like your face. He's like, what? Huh? Like, what happened?
Yeah. But it was such a funny moment. And we see her. And this whole group is like, we have to kill her because she's valuable. And if anybody else finds her and uses her as a weapon, then we'll be in trouble, or they'll be able to do a lot of damage. If she's not going to join us, then we're going to kill her. But by the end of this whole chapter, they are saved by Gin eventually, and she ends up joining up with them too.
And the whole time, she's talking about like, I only was able to eat like rice, and then I forget what it's called, but it's like seasoning that they use for rice. So you could buy it like different packets and stuff. And then she's like, that's all we ate. But then when I joined these people, they said I could just eat this. And he's like, you could just choose different meals a day.
Yeah,
like, why do you have to eat one thing a day?
Yeah.
And that's her like thing. She's like a glutton.
Yeah.
Who kind of like is missing, trying to catch up on all the things she hasn't eaten yet, which kind of like plays into how they don't have money and they have to make more money for her to eat, and they're always like scolding her for eating too much. But yeah, I did really enjoy this, because I've seen, I mean, obviously like being in this sphere of anime and manga, like, you know these characters, like, you've seen them everywhere. So it was just cool to put, like, you know, a name to the face, or and put a personality. Yeah, and you get to, like, kind of understand. I mean, I've seen one specific clip, I think, where, like, Kaguya, like, can't sleep, or she's, like, waking up Gin, and
I think it's Kagura, by the way.
What did I say?
Kaguya.
Kagura.
Great character, though, too.
Sorry. Kagura. Yeah. She's, like, waking him up, and it's, like, one of the funniest scenes I've ever seen, because she just looks, like, so scary. Yeah, but I was like, oh, this is fun. Yeah,
there's another clip I've seen where they're they're all kind of talking around a table, and I guess it's, like, pretty far into the episode, and then Gin starts just, like, looking at the camera. He's like, basically, like, when's the OP gonna start? Kind of thing. Like, we're already 8 minutes into the episode. I don't know, just like fourth wall breaking kind of. I do love their dynamic. Like, the three of them bounce really well off of each other. I guess the next, like, really important. And there's that sweet moment with the landlord, and I can't remember exactly when that happens, but
yeah, I think that might be. I think that's maybe the chapter before the last.
Yeah, it's just a really sweet moment between the two of them where, she has someone who's working for her that's a thief and doesn't know it.
Catherine
would
look crazy.
Who they say is like a Rock Lee. The mangaka makes a joke about, like, it's Rock Lee's first appearance in the manga, or like Rock Lee's guest appearance in the manga, the Naruto character. Because she kind of has his hair and his, like, not his face, but, like, his hair and cat ears, but she looks like crazy.
Yeah, I laughed out loud when this is Catherine. I was like,
yeah, that was very funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's a thief and basically is stealing from the landlord's shop, and
they find out because they like, please come in. They're like, there's a immigrant alien and going around stealing stuff, and she's like, oh, wouldn't hire anyone like that.
Yeah.
And then Catherine's like, you idiot woman, like, has all of her stuff cash register, and then they just go to go Taylor.
Yeah, but it ends in, like, a very sweet, like, the climax of that story is very sweet, because she ends up saying, like, I've dealt with a lot of people. Because the Catherine character pretty much tells her, like, you got to stop being so nice to people, and she's like, because I'm so nice to people. I actually love this chapter a lot too. She's like, because I'm so nice to people, it means that I also get to meet a lot of people, and maybe a lot of those people are odd, but that can work to my benefit sometimes. And she starts telling a story about, like, being at her husband's grave and putting out this the food for her husband, and someone being behind the grave talking to her, basically saying that they were gonna, or asking if they could eat this food that she had brought as an offering. She said, you got to ask my husband. He doesn't ask. He just eats it. He's like, a dead person's not going to talk, but I can make him a promise, and that's that I'll always protect you, or whatever.
That was sick. Yeah, the way it was spaced out, and the way he was just, like, behind her, like, ready to freaking pounce. Like, that's what I was talking about too. I was really surprised at, like, the fighting and, like, the action parts, because they're really well done too.
Yeah. I was surprised by these, like, little moments of, like, heart.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, we're doing this. And then I guess the last, like, really big moment or big thing or character that we get introduced to is a character by the name of Kotaro Katsura, who is basically a part of a terrorist organization or a rebel organization. And these whole I think it was split in 2 chapters. Was so funny, but also, you get a lot of backstory. You get a lot of Gin backstory.
Yeah, with the fight of, like, the aliens.
Yeah, like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, I know.
I was like, what? Like, the fight, the war that happened? I was like, I never in a million years.
He's like, I turned my life away from that. I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you find out that basically, like, Gin was a samurai. We knew he was a samurai, but that he was, like, on the front lines of this battle when these aliens came to invade and were threatening to take away the samurai or get rid of the samurai. And so I think there's a moment where this character that we are reintroduced to from his past comes in. And during the flashback, he says, like, his friend says, like, oh, we should, like, basically, like, what is it, like, I forget the exact term, but seppuku or
suicide.
Yeah.
For, like, honor or something.
Yeah, like the samurai, it's part of the samurai code. And Gin says, like, I mean, if we're already dead, You know, we got to go out in a blaze of glory. And he just like, I mean, this flashback and just seeing how like important and instrumental Gin was in this war, and that he fought for the rebels, or he fought for this like terrorist group.
Yeah.
And that he was a valuable member of this group. I mean, I didn't expect to get that. I didn't expect to get hit with all that.
I know.
But the way that he comes in or is introduced is so funny because, you know, they're all chilling. Kaguta, Shinpachi, and Gin are all chilling, and like a mailman crashes into their like building, and he's like, I'm not gonna be able to make it to all my stops. Can you please just deliver this package? I feel like it's a very important package, and I might get fired if it doesn't get delivered. And they're like, yeah, sure, you know, we're freelancers, like we're odd job takers, like we'll do it. And so they get, and we've been told that there have been like bombings on this like embassy, by a terrorist group. And so that, I mean, but I don't know why I did not connect the dots at all. Did you?
No. I was like, okay, here's another job, and they're gonna like go, you know, do something in the embassy place. They're gonna go inside, but yeah, it was way funnier.
Yeah, and it caught me by surprise. You know, they basically get there and they're kind of being harassed when they get there by someone like a guard or something.
Like a dog guy.
Yeah, one of the aliens that have taken over, and he's like, "What are you guys doing here? You know, it's high security right now because of the things that have been happening." And he's like, "We're just here to deliver a package. Seems pretty important." He's like, "No, get out of here with you and your package."
He's like, "It might be dog food." He's like, "I'm not gonna eat it."
Yeah, he's like, "It's probably dog food," and he's like, "I just need to deliver it." And he like throws it over the fence, and it's a bomb, and it explodes. And everybody thinks they're terrorists. That was so, I mean, it is such a kind of like a basic joke formula, but it caught me off guard, and I found it so funny because I guess that I just didn't see it coming.
Not at all.
They're on the run now, and that's when they get, you know, taken in by the other rebels, and the one being Kotaro, who is the friend from Gin's past. And we also find out that there's another police sort of division that is in charge of, you know, handling the rebels with what looks to be like very deadly force if need be. And we just get this whole like kind of like backstory, and they go to this location, and we find out that the mailman was a part of the rebel alliance, and that they're there and they're asking Gin to come back to help fight with them again.
He's like, nah.
Yeah.
I'm living my own life. Like, leave me alone.
And he says something to the effect of like, because they talk about like the samurai way or the samurai code. And he said like, yeah, my new code is like my own. It's like my own code. Like it's a code for me. But it was really worded a lot more eloquently than that. And again, in a comedy manga, it was actually like pretty like, it was like an okay moment. And not okay, I mean more so like it was like a damn Gin, like it was a beautiful moment.
Okay.
Yeah, like okay.
Yeah, not like okay.
Not like okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, how did you feel about this chapter? Because we got all that backstory, and we just got like, it felt like so much of the more of the world was being kind of revealed.
Yeah, it really ramped up, and that's exactly what you kind of want for like the end of a first volume. Because it is just like, okay, introducing new characters, new concepts, new world building stuff. Like you're going to want to continue to read and see how it like plays out.
Yeah. And there was even like the way it ended, you know, was again, a special task force, you know, breaks in, there's another bomb, you know, it accidentally gets activated. And, you know, there's that flashback to Gin saying that same thing he said during the war about going out in a blaze of glory. And he ends up having to save everybody. He, you know, it shows you more of his character that he doesn't want to harm, obviously, the rebel group, but he doesn't want to harm. At least it doesn't seem like he wants to harm, at least fatally harm, these guards, either of the special force, either. So he's basically by Kaguta like thrown out the window, and then once he's out the window, he throws up the bomb. It explodes, and he holds onto this banner, very action hero style, on the side of the building. And you know, his friend looks down and says like, you know, something to the effect of like that blaze of glory, like so much for a blaze of glory or whatever. But that's how the first volume ends. And I got so much out of this first volume. I got like awesome character moments. I got awesome backstory. I got also awesome like world building, very funny jokes and comedy throughout.
Yeah, it really was like a great first volume. It had everything you would want to like entice you to keep reading. and like connect with the characters. Like I feel like I know more about them. Obviously you probably later on get more, but it was like the perfect amount of backstory with all the characters that made me like actually like care.
Yeah, I mean, I cared so much, and I think that's the first step, especially if you're going to be telling the story. No wonder the story goes on for so long, because these characters are super likable, and these characters and their dynamic they have a great dynamic, and the other characters that are surrounding them, like the landlord character, like the Kotaro character. They are also like very. I can see the dynamic that they'll bring.
Yeah, they're very strong. Yeah, everyone's like a strong character.
Yes, there's no character that's not supposed to be. That just kind of falls to the wayside or isn't as strong. They're all kind of there for a reason. They're all, very purposeful. And like I said, this first volume had a little bit of everything. It had action, it had heart, it had drama, it had comedy. I really, really, really loved this first volume. And I think part of that was like discovering it as I was talking about it, because I remember, again, the expectation in my own head, which I know can be very dangerous. I was like kind of maybe waiting for certain things to hit me a certain way or for certain things to happen. But as I'm, really talking it out for the first time, which is kind of why I like to do it this way, is I'm kind of discovering, I knew I liked it, but I'm discovering how much I really, really did like it.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, it really holds up.
It does. So much time has passed, and it really, really does hold up. This is a series that for me, I would, if you haven't read it, I would highly recommend it. I know it's a lot going into it, right? Like I know it's a lot to read and a lot to watch. I think, it has to be like 300 something, maybe even closer to 400 episodes.
Really?
It's definitely over 300 something episodes. I know it's a lot, but, I haven't seen the anime as of this moment in time, other than some clips here and there.
Yeah, we were looking at like an arc list.
Oh my God.
And it was there was so many.
But I would highly recommend just checking it out for yourself if you haven't already. If you've kind of been wondering, if you've been like me and just heard so many people talk about it
through osmosis, heard of it. Yeah, for sure. Like I really, really, really liked it.
Definitely check it out. Do yourself a favor, because I think that I don't know how a series can be this popular, this talked about, and for me to still know as little as I did about it.
Yeah.
It was a very pleasant surprise, like we said a lot in the very beginning. But yeah,
surprises. Gintama's full of them, chock full.
I think though, even though I haven't really seen the anime, again, just doing research, kind of looking more into it, this is a series that I think I'd have a lot more fun watching, not because I didn't enjoy reading it. I absolutely loved reading it, and I sometimes prefer with longer series to read it because I can read it faster than I can watch it. However, I do think that, like you were saying in the beginning, there are things that I feel like are going to be and can be and hopefully will be elevated.
Yeah.
In the anime.
Yeah, definitely heightened. Like, I feel like for like even like Nichijou, I've seen a couple panels of it. I haven't read fully any like volumes or anything, but I mean the animation and Nichijou's like just obviously goes off.
Yeah.
But the voice actors, the delivery, like so hilarious, and I think that it would totally be the same for Gintama.
Yeah. And like I said, there's so much. I mean, for liking this volume as much as I did, there's so much that other people have expressed liking that I feel like we haven't even gotten to see yet. So it's like, if I like it already at volume 1 and I haven't even got to see really these other things that people like on full display, I'm going to like it even more and more the deeper I go. I love, parody and satire, but I also love that it is a show that has its own identity. It's not like
exactly. It has range.
Yeah, it has range for sure. It definitely does. It doesn't stick to one style of comedy, one style of joke.
Yeah,
it doesn't get a bit or a punchline doesn't get overused. It's just good. It's just good comedy, which is like crazy to say. I do feel like good comedy exists a lot more commonly in anime and manga for whatever reason than it does in like Western animation. I feel like Western animation, like, I don't know,
gets dated.
Yeah, I mean, maybe because they try to be too edgy.
Or just relevant, like you said, too relevant. And there are some things that are funny when they are, being relevant in that time. And you could look back and be like, oh yeah, that was funny then. But it is like, if you can make a joke, the longevity of a joke last throughout, a time span, like you're doing something right.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it. Did you have anything else you wanted to say about Gintama before we move on, or anything that you feel like you didn't get to say about it?
Not really. I mean, I definitely want to keep
watching. Or reading?
I think I want to keep watching just because the scenes that I've seen from the anime are very funny, and it is something that I could see myself just like going through gradually. You know, those times where you're waiting for an anime to come out in a season and it comes out on Thursday and you really have nothing else to watch. Yeah. And you just put it on like in the background or when you're getting ready or whatever. And I'm sure there's a dub too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would want to watch it. I know it's a feat. But again, it's that badge of honor thing, you know, sure. Like I just have to have that Gintama. I have to get that Gintama sticker.
Yeah. And I feel like it's like you said, this is a series that I would love to put on in between other shows, watch a chunk of episodes every now and then.
Yeah.
Because I feel like comedy series really lend themselves to that sort of viewing experience.
For sure.
You can kind of like pop in and out of it.
For sure.
Whenever you want.
And I'm curious to see like how they handle the action too. Like I wonder like how well the animation like maybe like progresses throughout the episodes, like if it does get better gradually. Like I don't even know what studio it's from. Like these are all like even the voice actors, like I'm so curious to see who the cast is and stuff, because I know it's just like so high regarded and it's like everyone loves it.
Well, I think it goes without saying. I mean, if you're watching or listening to this and haven't read or watched Gintama, now's the time to finally take that leap and do it with us.
Yeah, everyone's like, we've all seen.
Everybody's like, no shit, we fucking watched it and seen it, you fucking poser. No.
Yeah, totally. That's how I feel. I was like, you haven't. I'm like, yeah.
I mean, there are just things. They're just staples that you can't have watched everything. But if you have already read it and watched it, let us know what you think. Let us know about where the series goes. If you think it stays consistently funny, how it handles, the things that we seem that we want that we're, not concerned about. It's not the right word, but that we are wondering, like animation quality, just voice actors, all these things.
Any questions or anything to push us to continue it? Like, sure. Let us know, because like I said too, like I would like to know if like you prefer the anime or the manga, if you've seen both or watched or read both. And I think too, if you don't know, and if you are just watching or listening for the first time, how the show works, and even if you have been watching for a long time, I feel like sometimes we're not always the best at reminding everybody about this, but the way that our channel hopefully works, I know that it might not seem like it all the time, but there's a lot to go through, a lot to get to. How the channel, should work if we do our jobs is that by liking these videos for a specific volume 1, or if there are an overwhelming amount of comments in the comment section about continuing a series, then a volume 1 series will sort of transition into either a volume 1 plus, which is just a continuation of that series, or if it's even way more than a volume done, which is and since Gintama is done, it would qualify for a read through from beginning to end. But that is all up to viewer, I guess, interest, and you show that interest by liking or commenting. There's a series that we've gotten so many comments on that we might officially, we barely talked about it a little bit before this recording, but it seems like it might happen. But World Trigger, for example, is a series that we've gotten so many comments and consistently, like they'll pop up weeks or months after the episode came out. So that's kind of how it works. So if you want to see us continue it, if you want to see us read, specific arcs, or, if there are movies we can watch without having, read the entire series, or, in any and all possibility of continuation. Yeah. And we also do, like we have been doing for a little bit, we have been doing like anime season 1 reviews too. So if there's any, anime like that you would want to see us react to, just let us know, and then we can like go through it. Something maybe we haven't done before, because we are open to those as well in replacement of like this type of video, which is the volume 1.
Yeah, for sure. And that'd be actually really cool, is if we have like our, the series that we continue reading, but then we have like Gintama maybe can become like a series that it's like kind of maybe like our first volume done, but anime edition, or some
Mm.
variation of that. Just ideas.
Oh, like an
just spitballing.
ongoing. I mean, that's a long
Yeah, a long time.
300 episodes.
Yeah, I don't know what I just got myself into right now.
Yeah, I don't know either. Imagine like, do it.
Yeah, every single comment. Do
The
it.
Gintama fandom comes out just for this video. They show up.
I hope so. I hope so.
Show
And
up,
if
show
you're
out.
here
Show up,
and it's
show
your first
out.
time being here, welcome, friends.
Hi.
But that's gonna do it for our Volume 1 Gintama discussion. Like we've said throughout the
Hey.
episode, I know that there's a lot more past this first volume, but I think we got a really good sense for this series and what this series is going to become in the future. And I absolutely loved it. Megan, I think, absolutely loved it as well.
I loved it. I can't wait to get that. I want that little. I can't wait to see that little doggy.
Oh, the dog.
I mean, the guy. I mean, when does he come in?
I can't wait to
Comment
see
below.
that penguin character, that penguin bird looking thing.
Yeah. Isn't that? He's a penguin. Is he green?
No, he's white.
He's white. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like the dog. I don't know. Maybe he's an alien. Anyone can be an alien. Like aliens?
Could be a space dog. Who
He
knows?
could be a space dog.
It probably is.
Yeah.
Anyway, any and all thoughts, let us know in the comments down below. But we are, even though we're done with our Gintama Volume 1 discussion, we are not done with the episode yet because we still have to get to our Wonder's Circle, which is the segment on our show where our beautiful AI, who you heard in the beginning of this episode, she goes through comments that you have left on previous videos. She picks a couple out. She reads them aloud to us, and we respond to them live on the podcast. If you would like your comment to be read in a future Wonder Circle, then all you got to do is leave a comment on this video or any of our other videos. But with all that said, Volume 1, Chan, can you hit us with the first comment, please?
This one comes from Hello There. Have you guys
Hello
ever
there.
considered adding comic book reviews?
Hi. Have we ever considered comic book reviews? I'm going to say this. Never say never, but probably not. And only because there's so much to read.
There is so much to
Like
read.
manga to read.
There's so much manga to read for sure. And personally, for me, I'm just not as passionate as I am about manga. I mean,
For
I would
sure.
much rather read or read a manga or watch an anime than I would, read a comic book. That's just personally. I mean, I know that you've read a lot of comic books before. I mean, I have read some, but I mean, not as probably as you, like storylines and, character arcs and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
it is just the kind of flow of our channel is just anime manga based.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and for me, I think a lot of people, when people talk about comics, you want to automatically assume, or you might automatically assume that they're talking about, Marvel, DC, but, there are a lot of good comics outside of that. And I'm going to be honest, there was a period of time in my life when I was obsessed with Marvel and DC. And now I really could not care less. That might change. But those stories just do not interest me the same way that they did. But I'm also aware, because I felt that and started to branch out, that there are a lot of other stories being told, some through Image and Dark Horse. There's some really cool series like Saga, and there was a series that I was reading called Black Science, and the Manhattan Project was a really good one. There are really good stories out there that are being told in comic books. However, I mean, I to Megan's point, I'm just having so much more fun with the medium of manga and the stories that are being told. There is a specific type of storytelling that I don't really see in Western comic books that I do see in manga that I enjoy more. I enjoy the art more. I usually enjoy the characters more. I usually enjoy the creativity, the uniqueness. Everything feels a lot more fresh and unique and different. And so, yeah, never say never, but probably not, because there's so much to read, and it's what we love. I think what we both love more than anything else. So
Yes.
hopefully that answers your question. Hello there. Okay, Volume 1, Sean, can you hit us with the last comment, please?
This one comes from Laugh Hard. Damn, too
So
bad
hard.
Megan got spoiled, but I bet we're all looking forward to her reaction. Dumb trigger, world trigger.
Here we go again. We just talked about it.
Here we go
Shooty.
again. Shooty. Yeah, we got another one. But
Well, let's talk about you getting spoiled first.
yeah, but I do not want to say what I got spoiled.
Okay, well, this was a comment from our
If
Bleach
you're-
episode. I'll just say that.
I know if you're new to the channel,
Uh-huh.
I have a really bad track record with being spoiled or spoiling myself. And no, that does not mean
Everybody
soiling.
Yeah, she has a problem soiling herself and spoiling herself.
Yeah. I always spoil myself.
Mhm.
Because I run the socials and I on Twitter and Instagram.
I mean, she does. I didn't roll my eyes because she doesn't. She
yeah,
does,
yeah.
but-
This bitch really saying
No,
that.
no,
on the-
no, I'm just saying that, like, I feel like you could do your job.
It's hard.
And also not get spoiled.
And you see me on my phone. I mean, and I take all the information in so quickly. So sometimes I'll just pass by something like, oh, that was that. Okay.
Yeah.
And I just go on my life. And sometimes it comes to me. Someone like DM'd me, which was fucking crazy.
That was the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Okay,
dude.
if you're listening, I'm genuinely upset at you. Someone
yeah.
spoiled.
No, but don't even say that because they're probably freaking jerking off like, oh yeah.
Okay.
Got her.
Okay,
and
they're
and
blocked.
she was affected by it. Got her.
Okay, I was upset in the moment, but I blocked. Bye.
Bye. Yeah,
Yeah,
bye.
bye. Irrelevant. Done. See ya. Goodbye.
Later.
Forever. Yeah, they DM'd me a spoiler for One Piece, just basically saying what was relevant in the newest chapters, which is like 1,000 and like I don't even know what the 15. I don't know what the chapter count is. But yeah, that was cool. But yeah, I got spoiled because I was looking up a certain top.
You were doing
thing.
exactly what I told you not to do.
Yeah, I did.
We were prepping for another episode, and I knew that by prepping a certain way, she was going to be spoiled. So I deliberately, before
Yeah.
you started doing your work,
Mhm.
I told you, do not do it this way. Do it this way. And you looked me in the eye and you said, oh, I wasn't going to do that anyway. And then did,
Okay.
and then got spoiled. So, and then you're blaming it on social media. See, and that's why I roll my eyes. Because
Okay, there's
yes,
other
you are.
there was other no, actually
Oh, now you want to change the story.
no. I think it was shooty. Okay, so I think I did heed
Now you
your
wanna
advice.
change the
No,
story.
I'm serious because I have a bad memory. So
When it's
I
convenient, yeah, you do.
okay, I think I didn't do what you did, or I didn't tell me what to do, and then I was on, and then I went to Twitter and it said the same thing, like top blank blank blank, and I saw like 4 pictures, like 4 panels of like different blanks, and I was like confused. And then I think I did the same thing for a different episode, and then I saw it again and it was confirmed for me, and I was like, oh yeah, that's about right. But
Anyway, like we said in that episode, go ahead. You said but.
anyway, no, it's okay. That's fine. I mean, nothing really. I mean, it was cool. Like, it sucks that like it was kind of ruined for me. But I did it to myself,
Well,
and
yeah, and like we said in the
it
episode,
didn't ruin anything.
there was so much more to
Yeah.
that reveal than just the person behind it.
And I saw
You know.
something else on Twitter, and I guessed right about it, and it made me more happy.
Oh, it's another Bleach spoiler, but
It
it's not a
made-
major spoiler. I mean, some people might consider it to be, but
I was like, what is this? Is this and this? And then Josh was like, looked at me, and I was like, oh, no way. And then I was like, is that and that? And then he was like,
yeah, but
and I was like, no way.
she
So exciting.
Yeah, got more excited. So I think that that's a good thing
It really
because sometimes
made
obviously
me more reinvigorated. Like it really, I love when stories do that. I'm a sucker for like, oh, I can't really give it away, but I'm just excited. If you know what I'm talking about, there's certain characters that for
I don't think anybody's gonna know what you're talking about.
No, they're not.
but
Because
I
I'm
mean-
being vague, which is good.
No, which is great. But yeah, I think there's some spoilers that you can, find out about or, read or come up in your feed that can ruin a series.
Yeah.
But this one I did. So you said it, like it reinvigorated you, and I saw it. I saw how happy you got and energized, and I was like, okay, that was a good thing. That was the first spoiler that I was like, I'm glad that you saw that,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that you know about that.
Yeah. Me too. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
woo. I'm excited.
And to the second part of that comment, the World Trigger, and again,
Yes.
we get consistently, like, it feels like once a week we'll get another World Trigger comment kind of trickle in.
Yeah, we just got one recently that was like this comment to get done, World Trigger done, volume done, and I like pinned it on the episode. So if you're a World Trigger fan, go like that.
Yeah.
On the episode.
It's turning probably into us, doing a volume 1 plus, if that's what you want to call it, a continuation of World Trigger.
Yeah, I really liked it. And
Me
I
too.
think that maybe, we watched like the first episode of the anime and it was very odd and
It was
did
weird,
not
yeah.
translate well. But I've heard the anime is good. Maybe it was just the first episode that was weird. But I did enjoy reading it. I like the characters a lot.
Yeah, I would love to. There's obviously, Dan to Dan, there's obviously this now. But I think, because in terms of like, again, like how the channel works, or how we know that there's like a certain amount of interest, because obviously, people in our community are so fucking nice.
Yeah.
And they always say, like, talk about whatever you want to talk about. We want to talk about manga. We want to talk about anime. I really, there are series that I think I wouldn't care to talk about. But like anytime we ask for the community's opinion, it means that it's a series that we would be okay or would want to talk about.
Yeah.
Like I can't think of a series that off the top of my head, but if there was a series that we didn't want to continue, we wouldn't ask, we'd just not do it.
Yeah. Yeah. We wouldn't do something that we wouldn't want to do either. We wouldn't be like sitting through and putting on this like, smile and be like, oh, this was good. Like, no, we're just not going to read it. But there are things like Dan to Dan, we have World Trigger, and then of course, Chainsaw Man Part 2 is coming out soon.
And that's
so
gonna
that'll be a
like,
spot. That's a given.
For sure.
But yeah.
But that's going to be coming out like, that might be interesting.
Summer.
Well, it might be interesting to experiment with like maybe a sort of chapter discussion. I don't know, because
let us know, because I don't know if we would want to wait till full volumes are covered, because it would just be or maybe we can do chapter, maybe like, each episode is about like 5 chapters or something. Because I don't know if they would just release like one.
What do you mean?
Chapter per week?
It's usually like a chapter a week or a chapter every 2 weeks.
I honestly, living in the before times when we were like still reading Chainsaw Man when it was still being done. Like, how crazy.
I think it might be every 2 weeks. But some series, it varies from series to series.
Yeah. Again, personally, we do read newer things, but usually it is, things that are already like either completed or like almost completed.
I've been out for a while.
Yeah.
So let us know. But it looks like Dan to Dan for sure, obviously Chainsaw Man for sure. But it is looking like we're gonna continue World Trigger, and we'll try it for an episode and we'll see how it does. Again, that's how we know that people want to see it. So if there's a specific series or a video that you want to see, just let us know in the comments. Rally a bunch of people to like a certain video, or just let us know. You could do that by just hopping into our Discord. We have like podcast episode suggestions there too.
Yeah.
And there's usually always a link for the Discord in the description down below. And if for whatever reason it doesn't work,
just comment and then we'll send the link.
Yeah, we send the link. But that is going to do it for another episode of Volume 1. Before we go, though, we have to dedicate some time to shout out and thank our wonderful, amazing, our beautiful, our funny, our badass,
swordsman,
our swordsman, because they cut right through me. Their eyes cut right through me.
They're universally long.
They're universally long. Our universally long, our Patreon members. Thank you guys from the bottom of our heart for your support and just everything that you choose to give and show by giving. We appreciate every single one of you, no matter how much you give. We've just again been so blown away by your support and can't again, thank you enough. I mean, we're doing some stuff for the episode that we're going to be filming later this week, which will be coming out later this week. And again, it's going to be a return to form in terms of like cosplay and stuff like that. And we've been buying some supplies and buying some wigs and buying some stuff to do that, to have some more fun with that video. And so that video is going to be possible because of the support from our Patreon members. And just shout out to the community that's been forming, in our Patreon and YouTube members. Like the Patreon itself, when we give early access to the YouTube members and the Patreon members, like again, that community, that first viewer community is growing, and it's just really fun to see. And we love all of you guys, and we wouldn't be doing what we're doing on the level that we're doing it without you. And that's just what it is. So thank you for real. We fucking appreciate the shit out of it and you. And if you would like to join, if you're not a Patreon or YouTube member and you would like to join, then all you got to do is go to patreon.com/volume1pod or click join on this video. You get early access to all of our videos, but you also get access to our exclusive bonus Patreon podcast, Volume 1 Extra, where we talk about anything and everything. We've been playing some games over there. We played Doki Doki Literature Club. People seem to like it in the Patreon, so we're going to probably do a part 2. But the episode that we're going to be recording right after this episode, which will already be up for our Patreon members, is going to be just a movie discussion. We're going to talk a little Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness. We're going to talk some other shows that we've been watching outside of anime and manga. We talk about anything and everything over there, as well as, like I said, play some games from time to time. So if you want access to that exclusive Patreon and YouTube member podcast, Volume 1 Extra, and early access to all of our videos, patreon.com/volume1pod, or click join on this video. But again, if you're not a Patreon member and you either can't become one or you have no interest in becoming one, then there are lots of other ways that you can show your support that we appreciate equally, free of charge. And Megan will tell you what those things are now.
Yes. You can join today the Algorithm Gang, and what they do and what they continue to promote on this channel is commenting, liking, even subscribing if you haven't subscribed yet. These all help our algorithm out a lot and help our videos spread far and wide across the globe. And it really does act as a free tip to our channel. I see it all the time. Thank you, Algorithm Gang. I see you guys. I appreciate you guys. All you have to do is leave a comment on any one of our videos. You can leave a comment, a comma, a period, an emoji. I mean, whatever you want. And it acts as money for free 99 for us. If you can't support us any other way, you could support us that way.
Any and all ways that you choose to show your support, we appreciate them equally. And we appreciate you being here all the way at the very end of this episode. That helps us a lot too. Longer form videos, YouTube, don't cotton to that all the time because of the algorithm and whatnot. But thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. The only thing left to do now is to get out of here on our outro that is always the same and never changes, which today is... I mean, again, I did. We could just say
Gintama is out of this world.
Yeah, it's not bad. I do think that again, I'm 99.9% sure that Gintama is a pun on the Japanese word for the Japanese word or the character for testicles. It's a pun.
I hope it is
a play on that. It would be funny if it's not, and then we say testicles at the end of the episode. So it's funny either way. So I think we should just say testicles at the end of the episode. What do you think?
Okay.
Do you really think so or no? Okay. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And until next time, testicles! That felt good, huh? You didn't like it?
I mean, that might have been
one of the worst? This is funny. What'd you get? Instant karma.
Ow, dude, it broke the skin.
Instant karma.